Berkshire news and Berkshire stories at breakfast.
The Andrew Peach Show.
BBC Radio Berkshire.
We're talking last Saturday on the Peach Quest about the Reading Fringe and all the events around it, including a special night that we organised last night called War of the Words, all about the spoken word. You can rap like Eminem, or be a poet like Benjamin Zephaniah.
The beautiful electric drum is wired for your pleasure. So as you kinda go and come, reveal your happy soul.
Or tell jokes like Tim Vine.
3 cheers for rap music, hip-hop! Actually, my name isn't Tim Vine, it's Timbuktu. Sorry, I was miles away. By the way, if you see a vicar covered in spaghetti, don't worry, he's the local pastor.
Kirsten was there on the judging panel, the After Dark nightclub last night. How was it?
We had all of those things. It was excellent. It was brilliantly hosted by Brigitte, but we did have comedians, we had poets, we had performance poets, we had comedians that rapped, and it was really difficult to judge, all in all.
So, we're going to reveal and meet the winner of BBC Radio Berkshire's War of the Words shortly. First of all, here's a flavour.
So my environment is Reading. From the moment I was born in the Royal Berks, I've just really been immersed in Reading's culture because my mum took me home on the 17 bus.
Doused in shadows old, shadows new, something borrowed from my mum and some eyelash glue.
Cruising into town, the traffic's bumper to bumper. I got jigsaw jeans, I got a whistles jumper. My kids are in the back, the boy's a little prankster. We're off to Waitrose, yeah, I'm a middle-class gangster. I'm rocking style in the aisle in my dewberry boots. I'm here to buy French cheese and exotic fruits. I'm picking up the lilies, the £10 a bunch, and I'm picking up some sushi for my daughter's packed lunch.
Humans are such common things. Sitting on trains, reading magazines, drinking coffee from disposable cups, playing games of chance and then cursing their luck.
Homeless and hungry, said the sign, but the man who held it never said a word. It was lunchtime, so I gave him half of mine. Still silent, the huddled figure stirred, but when I screwed the wrapper up and dropped it at my feet, he shouted, "Oi, are you going to pick that up? Some of us have to live on this street."
Bit of a weird concept, this, isn't it? Like, war of words, getting people who have, like, developed oral abilities to, like, compete against each other. I think most of us developed those abilities because we didn't want to do any type of competition at all. You know what I mean? Like, no one on this stage was captain of the football team, is what I'm saying.
Wokingham is ruined. They're destroying our town. Buildings smashed, roads, block walls coming down, rubble in our streets. The relentless sound of falling mortar disturbing our sleep sometimes. Traffic backed up, ramps up our stress. We're sick of running late. The town is a mess. Many stores already fled. Denmark Street is all but dead. I could murder a packet of crisps, you said, but word is, Marks and Spencer's are next. Picked out of Peach Street, people are bereft. Soon, they say, there will be nowhere left to buy decent gluten-free sausage rolls.
BBC Radio Berkshire's War of the Words last night from the After Dark. What do you make of it, Brigitte?
Oh, it was just so good. And I don't know if you've ever been into the After Dark Club, but it's really cosy, even though it's a kind of legendary venue where you've had Radiohead, Manic Street Preachers, Supergrass there. But we gave this opportunity for 14 artists to perform on stage, and every single one of them were full of confidence, completely different. Everyone had a kind of different take. So we had the spoken word, a bit of rap as you heard there, and then we had like full-on prose, and people from all over, from Newbury, from Slough, from Ascot. And I don't know about you, Kirsten, but it was, I didn't know how you were going to make a choice as judges as to who went into the top 3. It was so tough.
I did find it really, I didn't enjoy judging it because it was so good, and it came down to a dead heat at one point, and it fell to me to have to make the call, and I went round afterwards
That's really
apologising
hard,
to
isn't
people.
it? Saying really sorry. And it's, what I loved about it, I wasn't able to be there last time, but what I loved about just hearing some of the highlights was the localness of it. So you've got all the different sort of spoken word genre, as you were saying, Brigitte, but also you've got people actually able to talk about where they live and, funny things about living around here.
Yes, environment was a sort of loose start point for people, but as you'll hear from the winner later, that was taken off in some quite interesting directions.
We'll reveal the winner of BBC Radio Berkshire's War of the Words shortly.
BBC Radio Berkshire.
This week it's Reading Fringe, and we've been celebrating spoken word with BBC Radio Berkshire's War of the Words. It happened at the After Dark last night. Brigitte and Kirsten were there, and so was Vidu. Now, you'll remember Vidu from the Peach Quest last Saturday. Vidu's a performance poet known as Banana Sharma, which is literally the best name ever, Vidu, by the way. I didn't get a chance to say that to you on Saturday. That's such a good name. So, and you were the other member of our judging panel, Vidu, last night. So how was it?
Oh, it was just a fantastic event. Can I just say, though, before all of that there's no better duo than Andrew Peach and Banana Sharma.
I think there's definitely a future for us, isn't there?
Definitely, especially after Saturday. So, yeah, last night was absolutely amazing. Not only just being on the judging panel and getting to speak and hear from all the experiences of the rest of the panel, but it's just such an important space for local artists to have the support of local festivals and events and get to just share and be around each other and collaborate and just be in the whole space.
So we were hearing the highlights earlier on. So this is people who are rapping and poetry and prose and all sorts of different forms of the spoken word, which must have been really hard for you, for Kirsten, to judge, to decide how do you compare one thing against another. Really difficult. It's like an honour to be asked to judge, and then you wish you hadn't agreed to it. But when it's children's fancy dress time, you think, well, this is nice that I'm the judge, but all that it involves me doing is disappointing lots of people.
Oh, no. Yeah, of course. And it was the first time in the spoken word space that I've been kind of exposed to comedy, like in that kind of way. So that was quite interesting. But for me, I was looking for rawness and realness. So whether that came through in comedy or poetry or in rap, I was kind of not looking for the format as much. But what was nice about the judging panel was that we were quite an eclectic bunch. Kirsten, who's tried her hand at stand-up, and Marcus, who's kind of a part of the hip-hop UK rap scene, and then myself coming from poetry. I suppose we just kind of relied on each other.
But when it came down to it at the end, we were split, weren't we? Because it was a bit of a dead heat at the very end, and that got quite awkward, didn't it?
Yeah, we had 2 judges wanting to put one person through, and the other 2 trying to put another person through, which, I mean, is always got to be there's got to be just something you deal with, right?
Yeah. One of the tough things for the performers was you only had 3 minutes, and that was really seriously enforced in that if after 3 minutes you were still going, they started playing music over you, and it got louder and louder.
You out.
Yes.
So you end up in a dead heat, and you decide that the casting vote goes to Kirsten, a woman who can't sensibly purchase a bathroom, as we've discovered on the show this morning. You ended up with a brilliant winner who's here with us. The winner of BBC Radio Berkshire's War of the Words was Wordsmith, or Sarah, who's in the studio now. Morning.
Good morning.
Congratulations, really well done.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
We're going to hear what you did for the judges in a second or two, but just give us a bit of your background. How did you end up performing and taking part?
Well, I've been performing for about 3 years now, written for a very long time, but I was sharing last night a little bit that I had an interesting or difficult journey to get to that point, and some mental health issues that I had some help with. Shout out the NHS and Berkshire Traumatic Stress Service. And so having overcome that lifelong kind of problem, actually I was able to perform, and so I've been enjoying it ever since.
And does that struggle that you had help you with the creativity, do you think?
It helps me stay calm, which I think is really important. And you are more creative when you're calm, actually. So, yeah, I think it helps with the creativity, it helps with the calm in it. And it proves it to me that I've made some strides because I can now stand in front of a mic.
Do you love performing? Do you find that exciting, daunting, bit of both?
To start with, I found it terrifying and I didn't enjoy it at all. And now, I guess over the last year or so, I've started to really enjoy it. Yeah, I love it now.
How would you describe the work that you do? What genre would you put it in?
Probably spoken word, poetry / spoken word, yeah.
Okay, and you're going to perform for us what you did last night that eventually won over our judges and got Kirsten's casting vote and all of that. So, the winner of BBC Radio Berkshire's War of the Words, Wordsmith.
Thank you. So this one's about 3 minutes long, so settle back and relax. It's called Building Love. When love is in development, the way you build is relevant. Its architecture, you can bet, is more than incidental. Build your love house wrong, and well, that could be detrimental. Think of making love in terraces. Through walls as slim as fairies' wrists, as thin as leaves of lettuces, your neighbours, not intending this, become reluctant witnesses. With eaves like leaves from full trees dropping, they can hear you revving up and stumbling, stalling, stopping. That's embarrassing. You could start again, but would they mark you out of 10? That might be depressing. I'm digressing. Because from palaces to tenements and fortresses to cottages, the message is the same, and it is love. Nothing matches this. Not love like in rom-coms with actors and actresses or questionable practices on other people's mattresses, but real love. Nothing matters as much as this. You can't be semi or detached from this. Real love is what attachment is, and that's not easy. We're not all used to being intimate, see, and intimacy, well, it's awkward. You can long for it, yet not know what to do with it. Have a yearning, but little learning how to go through with it. After the fizz of physicality, how to just relax and be. To rest. Let lazy limbs and bodies melt into a happy, sleepy heap for ages. This you learn in gentle stages. Because real love is patient. Love is kind, keeps you calm and warm while you unwind, gives you time, so you can stretch right out and elongate your spine, one vertebra at a time. And then you'll find you can reach more, go further than you did before, because love is patient, love is kind, doesn't memorize your failings, it's just not that way inclined, so you need not be defined by the things you leave behind. It treasures, it protects, it believes and it holds. It cares, it keeps going, it sets free and it enfolds. It hopes and it trusts. It's honest and it's true, and it doesn't need you to be anyone but you. When love is in development, the way you build is relevant. Its architecture, you can bet, is more than incidental. Build your love house wrong, and well, that could be detrimental. So lay a foundation down on rock, not sediment, and pour yourself a pediment, press your handprints in its wet cement. Then you're ready to build up with something practical yet elegant, and now's your season. There's no known reason or legal impediment why you shouldn't find a love that binds you now with gentle kindness. It's a grand design, a divine assignment, when stars that start out separate then shift into alignment.
I really like your zen-like state when you're performing. That's really interesting to watch. That's amazing. You go off into another place, don't you, to do that?
Yeah, I guess you do. Yeah.
What did you love about it, video? That was brilliant. But I'm a punter, right? So I can't put into words why it's brilliant, but you can, because you do this for a living, video. So tell me.
It's just so fantastically empowering, and there's just so much raw healing going on. It's so relatable. The imagery is just painted so vividly. You just kind of follow Sarah off into that journey, into her past, into what she's learnt. It's just so beautifully done and so calmly presented. I say it's a lot of the time it's much more the delivery than it is even the content, and the way that Sarah is on stage is just captivating and mesmerising, and the whole audience was just completely silent last night.
Kirsten?
Yeah, all of those things. It was interesting for Sarah because she was the last person on in a room where we'd had comedians on, we'd had rap on, there'd been a lot of fun and a lot of laughter. And Sarah came on and she managed, as Vidhu says, to completely control the room, silence the room. And the first piece she did last night was actually leaving us on a very somber, serious note.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just got us.
You've explained it now. It's like Eurovision. You're much more likely to win if you go last. Thank you very much indeed for taking part, first of all, Sarah. Thank you for coming and performing for us this morning. And huge congratulations. You're there with your trophy. It's really great that you won War of the Words. Well done, you.
Thank you very much.
If people want to come and see you,
yeah,
do you do regular gigs that people could come to?
Yes, I regularly perform at Poets Cafe, at South Street Arts Centre, at Reading Slam, which is a lot of fun if you want to get into slam poetry, which is the kind I was just doing. At Risk Global Cafe, and at Boomerang in Hammersmith. You find me there too.
Excellent. See you again soon, I hope. Thank you very much indeed, Sarah. Thank you, Vidhu. Thanks for being part of it. BBC Radio Berkshire's War of the Words, and we'll let you hear more of the highlights from last night again a bit later on. 12 minutes to 9.